Alright, hey guys, what's up? So I'll just be simply explaining essentially the type of game mode I'll be playing. It's a 1v1 game mode. Hopefully the title kind of explained that. So I'll be flying the F-14 Tomcat with the skill of an ace. I don't think ace means anything, at least for the pilot, like the player. Maybe G-force tolerance, but I'm not fully sure. So I'll be flying Tomcat with the default loadout. Now default, at least for the loadout, means I won't have any extra like gun pods, rockets, missiles, fuel tanks, anything like that. Just the base aircraft, default. And then I'll be flying against F-5. F-5 also known as the MiG-28, or at least it stood in for the MiG-28 in Top Gun. Of course, the MiG-28 doesn't exist. They have the MiG-27 and MiG-29. Maybe MiG-28 was fair game. I don't know. With the skill of an ace. Now, in this scenario, ace means a whole lot different than skill, at least ace for the player. Ace in this scenario is the most difficult possible version of the enemy you could face. It understands aircraft, understands how to shoot. If it was a novice or like a rookie, super easy to kill. But since it's an ace, it's going to be way more difficult, which also makes it way much more fun to fight. And then with the default loadout, of course, as well. Simple. So we'll be flying at an altitude of 3,000 meters. Of course, that's going to fluctuate as we dogfight each other on the Caucasus map. Now this, at least the map, doesn't really determine anything. It's just I thought it was neat. Except I do get shot at with AA, anti-aircraft. And then that doesn't really do anything, except I think at one point it does hit my aircraft, or at least through all the scenarios, I think it hit my aircraft at least once. Most of it being superficial. I think in one of the later rounds, it does puncture my fuel tank, but that seals itself. So this game mode is essentially just a 1v1 gunfight. Gunfights are the most fun, of course. I can do it with multiple different eras. I like gunfighting because it requires a lot more skill, at least in my opinion. You have to get close to the enemy, then you have to track the enemy, and then you have to get on at 6 or have to land a good shot. It makes it a lot more difficult, requires a lot more skill. And I just find that very fun, and I can do that with a whole wide range of eras. So I can do World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the 80s, Cold War. I can do all that, and I think that makes it more fun. So we'll be doing that, and I'll do that with a whole other range of videos. So without further ado, let's get into round one. So this is essentially like the intro to every single round. It's just a full head-on merge. Beautiful aircraft. I'm actually really liking flying it. So as you can see, he's identified, and then we will soon merge. Oh, and you can see the AA is firing at us, so he starts turning and we merge. I don't know why he fires, he just does. So we pull down to get our nose and then get into a successful turn. I do pull very hard in the aircraft, and it does slow me down, whereas he takes the more vertical route. So even though I am going slow, I'm actually still generally faster than the F-5. So as I pull up, actually I do get hit with AA right there a couple times actually. So what he's hoping is that I will abuse my speed and miss. Of course I take a few shots and I don't collide. He's hoping I overshoot, which allows him to get on my 6 and light me up. But I'm very good at not overshooting. So you see how he turns right there. So he's hoping that I am still at 110% throttle. Whereas right here I slow down and I very much prevent him from getting on my 6. And especially right here where he really tries, especially with his rolling maneuver, which also makes it way harder for me to get a shot off. So I get into a turn right here, which is actually really dangerous, and he takes shots, but none collide. And I have overshot and allowed him to get on my 6. I think this is one of the few times I actually do allow it. And now I've actually lost him in this turn. I do get hit. I don't know if it was from AA or guns. I believe it was from AA. And he has, okay, so there he is, spinning of course, and trying to manage his speed so he can take advantage of mine. Of course, I'm not going to let him overshoot. He fires but does not connect. Of course, I'm really low to the ground with very low speed, trying to turn. And that is one of my biggest mistakes in this round, was trying to turn way too much. Which caused me to become very slow, allowing me to become a very easable, hittable target. Right there, I see him, and I pull really hard, because now he's on my 6, he is very much control this fight at the moment, and I've put myself in a non-winnable position as I crash. I don't know why I don't explode, but round 1 goes to MiG-28. Okay, I know. That was 100% on me. Can't blame nobody but myself. 100% on me. I was trying to turn, and I ended up turning way too much, and it caused me to crash on the ground. I will spoil this round. I do not die from turning. Not saying I don't die. What I'm saying is I don't die from being too slow. Because I learned from my previous round's mistake. Okay, but you see right here, as to interject, he pulls down and then pulls back up and hits my airframe, causing me to have a fuel leak. So he dove down aggressively and then pulled up aggressively. As you can see here, I start turning, but it isn't as aggressive as let's say last round. I was very aggressive last round, but I go from here and then I flip back around, and then we get into another head-on style situation as I fire and he fires, and none of us can get a shot on. So I pull down my nose here because I'm very mindful of my speed at this point, as he just abuses all the speed he has. So as I nose on right here, he blows completely and right past. I have no shot at this point. There we go. As he passed on, he's doing his twirls because he knows I have him locked. I don't have any missiles, but I have him locked. So, and with all that speed and all that energy and all that power, essentially, because I'm not super fast. I'm not as slow as I was last round. He immediately pulls up in the vertical. I don't know if he was thinking I would just stall right over and like he would kill me, but he pulls up super aggressively. I fire this shot and miss, and I just have the I got me right here as I just pull up and hit him, and then he explodes. I'll show you all the slow-mo because it was absolutely sick watching it. But he's spinning, he's inoperable, absolute splash. So, MiG-21 won, or MiG-28, correction, I always say MiG-28, I'm working on MiG-21 video, but MiG-28 won, F-14 Tomcat won. So, without further ado, let's get on to round 3. Alright, I just came off a pretty, it felt great. It honestly felt good to, one, get a kill, but then get a really, really good, shot of it. It's not like a passing by and you don't get it that well, and, but it was good to get it right in front. I don't know, it just felt great to get that shot off. And so getting shot at by A, of course, and now he's actually taking, so he's going to my right, his left, as we do this very passive merge. Not a really super close head-on, and none of us fired. I think he actually might have fired. I don't know. He might have fired his guns right there. I think so. But I pull around pretty easily, still have a decent amount of speed, and then he comes back around as well. So, of course, now what he's going to want me, he's going to want me to overshoot. That's his biggest priority at this present moment, is to get me to overshoot screw up and then blow right past him, because at the end of the day I still have a way more powerful engine. So as you can see, like especially at 110% throttle, I can catch up with him relatively easily. So I start throwing rounds. That actually wasn't a pretty bad shot. I thought it was actually a pretty decent shot. Threw my luck out there. And he's very much diving towards the ground, trying to get speed and make me overshoot, thinking I still have 110% throttle in the corner, but I don't. Specifically for that reason. He pulls up and look at his speed right there. He's got a lot of it. But I'm also at least high-performing aircraft in the sense that I have 2 very large engines which don't play. So he pulls down here as I try to get on him. Now I very much have a stronger engine, and of course I'm going to catch up. I pull up, and then I see him right there. And I just start throwing rounds, because he's not reacting, and bang. He just tries to roll. Maybe he's trying to get me to overshoot. He was just flying straight. I don't know why. And then I just light up his tail. So I'll show you the slow-mo from that. So with that being said, MiG-28 won, F-14 Tomcat 2. He was way too straight, and he paid for it. So let's head on to round 4. All right, round 4. I can already tell you this. I was feeling very hot. Like I felt great. I wasn't shooting the greatest. You know, my second round was probably the best aiming, the best shooting I had so far, especially since I hit the target, and I led him super well. But I just felt great, got the other kill, and now he's rolling, and then I try to throw my rounds out, not even close to leading him. But we were a little bit closer in this merge than last round, and I pull really hard. I don't know if it's because I just had a lot of speed, but I was feeling very aggressive. And then blows right past me, still not going to get me to overshoot. I think he actually does in this round, but as of yet he has not made me, and I've been very good about watching my speed. Got a good roll right there and throw a few rounds out. I was open for a lucky blind shot. Throw some more rounds, no good. I was hoping for essentially like a sweep. I would go fly by, and I would sweep him. I would just press the gun and swing by, but I was unsuccessful on those last 2 attempts. Of course, I don't want to waste my ammo, so they're very short controlled bursts. And I do have a faster engine, or I do have 2 very powerful engines, whereas his are a little bit smaller. And I try, as you can see right here, they're not very long bursts, and then he pulls vertical again. And I'm thinking immediately of what happened last time. So I get set up, but look how aggressive he's spinning, and then and then I overshoot. I just didn't slow down as much as I should have, and I was way more confident in my abilities, and he also slowed down a lot faster as well. So as you could tell with his spinning, and then I try to level out and gain and retain whatever speed I had left. I'm not going to be super aggressive, and then I dive back down, hoping like to boom and zoom. At this point, I kind of had the boom and zoom mentality, but I became way too aggressive with it, as you can see right here. So instead of pulling up and then trying again, I turn with him, ultimately gaining very little to no speed. And then trying to hope for now, like, instead of round 2, now I try to behave like round 3. And then from there, I think of round 2 again, and I'm thinking of how good of a shot I was, but he is spinning, so he's nothing like round 2. I think that was a pretty good shot, at least a good attempt. I got nothing from that one, though. And my biggest problem with this one is that I have both too much and not enough speed. And then I try to prevent an overshoot, as I lose sight of him for half a second. Pops back up. And I try more sweeps. And since my gun's on the left side, it's not directly in front. And then, bam, I get hit. Fuel leak. My airframe's fine, nothing was shot off, but I overshot. I try to loop back around here, but of course he has and I just try to dive out the way, because he very much now has guns on me, and now the fight is in his favor. Takes a couple more shots, and we basically do this scissor. It's a very weird scissor. And now I'm just trying to throw my throttle in the corner and just try to extend as much as possible, hoping that he gives up, because there's no way he's going to catch up. So I'm just flying. I'm kind of turned in a little bit, mostly because I'm going to retain most of the speed, even if I bleed a little bit. I look behind me, and then I just pull super hard for some stupid reason, and I snap off my wing. And a part of me is thinking, oh yeah, I can keep flying. I can keep flying. It's not too terrible. And then I just had no control. I couldn't turn, and I died. I crashed right here. No recovering. So MiG-28 to F-14 2. Now let's get into round 5. Game point. What happened? I didn't get shot down. None of my deaths so far have been me being shot down. It's because of my pilot error. I over-abused my aircraft, snapped my wing, 100% on me. This may be it. So, of course, I still get hit with AA, but I am ready to finish this thing off. So we kind of do a very, very tight merge, and he's very aggressive with his shooting. So, me, not wanting to completely screw up, I pull pretty hard, but I still have a lot of speed, and I don't want to jeopardize my aircraft for one, and I've been humbled severely by this enemy aircraft. But I am able to pull up on at 6 and stay behind him. He's above me, but as long as I prevent him from overshooting, see, as he rolls down, he basically tries to do a sweep on me, which he's unsuccessful. I slow down a lot. He basically tries to do that as well right here, except he tried to, and I pulled up around him, and now he's just trying to fly straight. I think he's just trying to use his speed as best he can from that dive, and then I want to get behind him, but I'm also not in the same position as I were a few other rounds where I had speed. I don't have speed in this situation, and he proceeds to take the vertical and then pull left, and I fire, can't get nothing. I don't think they were bad shots, I just don't think I let him enough. Of course, I don't have a targeting computer. I can't lock him up with a computer that can just predict where he'll be in the next however seconds or anything like that. I can't just lead him like that. I'm using traditional tracers with a fixed sight. So he pulls up right here, and he plateaus, which threw me off. And I think what he was trying to do here was cause me to overshoot. Just pull up and you pull really hard. Maybe it was for me to fly by and then he could get away. Then he flips back around right here. And I was super confused because he was pulling right and then he instantly pulls left. And then I saw off his wing. And it was super anticlimactic. I mean, at first, because he just did that sweep. Of course, my gun's on the left side. I can lead him, and then I just fire. It was super weird, and since it's 5 rounds odd, one has to be the winner. So with MiG-28 2 and F-14 Tomcat 3, we have a winner. Okay, video's over. Right, you're expecting. Well, here's the F-16. And this is a little treat. I just think this, I'll probably do videos with this aircraft as well. This is probably one of the coolest mods I've ever seen. You just have to watch and look. Okay, now you're looking at the F-16, and now you're realizing why I just had to put it in this video. Shoots flares. Of course, basically all the aircraft that are jets do it. But look at the HUD, the two screens at the bottom kind of work. They don't fully work. They're not fully realized. But look at the screen. And okay, we merge here. Not super concerned about that. Now, one thing about this F-16 is that its roll rate is absurd. It loves to spin. It is a spinning machine, and it can turn. It's just an absolute spinning machine. And I turn on, it's super fast too. I have to worry so much, especially in this engagement, about overshooting, and I think the enemy knows it. I fire right there. I don't know how I didn't kill him, and I determined this entire fight, because there's no way he could determine anything. Because if I overshoot, I spin away and run, and if I get behind him, I get my gun ready and I shoot. Fire a little bit over there. I expect him to go a little bit higher. He cut it off early and dove down. So, no point in him running away. I can easily catch up, and I'll make him pay. The only thing I wanted to do is about being slow and overshooting. That's my main concern. But I'm running air cover essentially over the top. He's constricted by my movements. And that's what happens whenever you get such a modern aircraft versus a less modern aircraft. This thing's absurd. So, he rolls right here, hoping an overshoot. I stop that from happening. Get my sight on him, which is that little crosshair. And it says I sawed off his tail, but I'm pretty sure I mostly sawed off his wing. But yeah, it was seriously that easy. He just made a simple turn, and I made him pay for it. Oh man, it was, and this is probably one of the shortest engagements. We made a couple turns and I won. And just look at that thing go. Let me get some good lighting right. Okay, yeah, here's better lighting. This thing is just impeccable. There's other models of it. It's not perfect, but this is one of the most technically impressive mods I've ever seen anyone in any mod community do. The IL-2 mod community, IL-2 community in general is amazing. So, oh man, it's in the Bat Jet mod. I'm pretty sure it was originally like a separate mod, and then they put it together, like in the mod, like the Jet mod. Absolutely nuts. The F-18 Hornet looks amazing too. It's nuts. And I just had a wonderful time with this video. I'm trying some new stuff out. I like this sort of Tuesday 1v1 sort of upload schedule, so I'll have IL-2, the campaign stuff, on Fridays with the 1v1 stuff from all sort of eras, maybe even from other games or other than IL-2 1946. But, oh man, I just had a lot of fun. I hope y'all enjoy this content, enjoyed that little bonus engagement. It's a couple extra minutes, but totally worth it. So, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Like, subscribe, share. I love doing this. Great passion. It's a great hobby. So, simply just enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.